And that to me was like, whoa, the walls came down and I knew I had found my calling. And during this time, right before we actually became a licensed corps, at the end of in September of 2019, being a new chaplain, I wanted to serve in multiple areas. And so I went to volunteer where my dad was a hospice chaplain, Circle of Life Hospice. And I became a volunteer. And right before I got my first patient, my grandma, Judy, who actually died in this room on hospice, right where I'm sitting, she got liver cancer and had less than a month and a half to live. But anyway, so she actually ended up being my first patient as a volunteer with Circle Life Hospital. They allowed me to take her on as not only as a family member, but also to be a volunteer. And I got to watch all of the disciplines come into this room, this house: social work, chaplaincy, CNAs, nurses, the different, just even the volunteers and the people that you would call and speak on the phone with at the office. They were also loving, and the administrator, who's now the owner and CEO and administrator, Michelle Cagle. There was this she had a lot of fluid buildup, almost 17 pounds. And typically they don't drain that when you're on hospice. But for her, for whatever reason, she wanted that drain to be able to be in comfort the last few weeks of her life. So Michelle paid for that out of the Circle Life Hospice's pocket. And she just showed so much kindness and went above and beyond. They all did, the entire team. And I was like, this is amazing to be able to support people through some of the most difficult days of their life and through end of life, and help them to find meaning in their lives and to just be present. I walked in one day and my grandma was crying, and my grandma had a sick sense of humor. I might tear up and laugh all at the same time. She looks at me with these tears in her eyes and I said, "What's wrong, Grandma?" Which is a silly thing probably to ask someone who's dying. And she said, I just had to sign up for Hospice, Chaz, real serious. I was like, "Oh my goodness, Grandma, I'm so sorry. That was so insensitive. I didn't mean it." And she starts laughing with these happy tears in her eyes. And she looks at me and she reaches out to me and hugs me and says, "Chaz, I know I'm so proud of you for becoming a chaplain. And I know that you're going to serve people for the rest of your life. And you're going to be serving many people in hospice and just loving them. And I'm so honored to be your first patient." And that to me was like, whoa, the walls came down and I knew I had found my calling.